All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Wayne's World Garage. Today we're going to So you may recall, we took this little thing. I made took this piece of steel, and we made this flange here, and it kind of goes like this, and it squeezes the collar. I'll show you kind of how that works, or it doesn't work. So here's the collar, what it looks like, and we want to face this edge. But how do you do that? So here, this will fit in a collet and a lathe. Put it right in there. Put this in here. Little big washer I made. Take the bolt. Tighten the bolt down, and it should spin true. So the first test, let's tighten this down and then check the runout on this thing and see what the runout looks like. All right, well, I didn't bore you with the details of setting up the dial indicator, but we just take this little thing here, the dial indicator, and we will zero it. Zeroize it, I guess that's the right word. Set it to 0. And then we'll spin this guy around, see what we got. How am I doing? So we go from 0. That's not surprising. 12 thousandths will run out. It's just a flange. This has got nothing to do with holding this thing straight or anything like that. It's the outer flange, the loose flange. So that'll be okay. But when I'm done, it'll be perfectly smooth. Now, just out of curiosity, what we want to do is let me check. This distance here is supposed to be 4 to 6 thousandths, the inner part of this. 4 to 6 thousandths less than this outer part of it. And I'm pretty sure it's pretty doggone flat, but let me check. So here we are here. We're going to check the outer part of this flange. And I'll send you a link to the diagram, but it's pretty flat. Maybe it's a thousandths off. Is that in the right direction? So here's what the collar is supposed to look like. It's about 4 thousandths of clearance, just a little bit of taper. So that's what we're going to do. It is. And what they're saying is they want, 4 to 6 thousandths taper on that, which is not a whole lot, but we can do it. Yeah, there's pretty much no taper whatsoever. But when we're done with it, there'll be a little bit of a taper. So let me give it a shot and see what happens here. Not sure you can see any of this, but we'll see what goes on here. So let's do this. Let's take this as a new piece of carbide here, and let's just get it flat to start with. So we'll put it right up against there, and we're not flat yet, but we will be in a second. It turns out your eyes are really good at seeing when things are flat, so we'll just put this here. Not quite. Even for the old geezers, have got better eyes. Not bad eyes. Alrighty. Make sure our tools are tight. Always double check to make sure you don't have the collet wrench in there, but since we don't, or the wrench in here, this wrench in here, but since I've got a collet, that's not relevant. Clear, arms here, clear, hands clear. Contact, as soon as I tighten the belt. Contact. And let's just smooth it off just a little bit. See what happens. Carbide. That's just like doing brake rotors, huh? put it in. Edit this part of it out. She's looking pretty clean. So now what we're going to do is now we're going to put this in a very, very slight angle. Get a little taper on this bad boy. And then see how she does. And what I will do is let me get a feeler gauge in this guy. Because they say 46 thousandths of an inch, which is not much. But I'll figure that out. Alrighty, let me see if you can see any of this stuff or not. This might be hard to see. So what I want to do is I'm putting the feeler gauge right between here and the outer edge here. And that's loose at 6 thousandths, which means I got less of an angle here. This my eye's not very good. Oops. Now here's a good way of doing that. Let's make it tight and then push it in. See how that feels. That feels nice. Break this down, double check it. Yeah. Okay, just a tad. That's all they want you to do, which doesn't seem like much, but whatever. What do we know, right? And we'll start at the outside here, I hope. I'm just kind of doinking around as I make this so it's lined up perfectly. And there you go. So let's do this. Pull this out a little bit and let it rip, tater chip. Hopefully you can see a little bit here. I was really smart, a little bit late. Let me put a little bit of this blue dye on here, and that way I'll know exactly where I'm going. But I think I've already gone far enough, because it doesn't take much, that's for sure. A couple hits on this thing. There we go. Make sure I'm hitting what I think I'm hitting. How's that? If I turn on now, I'll have blue dye on my face all day, so I won't do that. Alright. So the one thing, just keep this in mind, and I've said this before, the tooling is 95% of the work. The actual machine part of the work is just not hard. It just doesn't take any time at all. Oh, we can go a little bit more. Okay, good. I'm just doing this till my dye disappears, which it's pretty well disappeared. A little bit more, maybe. Not much. A little bit. We're going to call it quits. Ooh, is that going to be nice? So now, the question is, now let's take this and measure it and see what she looks like. So let's pull this paper away off. Put this on here. Alrighty, so here we go, the moment of truth. Well, clearly, and I'll show you a better picture of this, I can see under here I've got a little bit of gap, which is kind of what we want. Maybe a little bit more than 6/1000ths, but I don't know that that's critical. The critical thing is that this kind of, the outer edge of this is what's touching things. And we can see some sunlight through there. Well, not sunlight today, because not a whole lot of sunshine today. I don't know if you can see it or not. You can. I can see it. If I can see it, you can see it. There's a little bit of sunlight under there, a little bit of daylight, and the feeler gauge, you know, there we go. Put the feeler gauge here. All right, a little bit of clearance, but she looks good. But the main thing here, the critical thing is that we have a little bit of an inside taper, and that's what we've got now, so that the saw, meaning the blade, touches right here instead of here or all across here. Now, doing the part on the mandrel, that's a whole different gig, but we'll figure it out, I hope. But anyway, that was a quick episode. It will be a quick episode because the machining of the actual piece of the part or the welding or anything like that, that's the easiest part. The hard part is jigging everything up and making jigs and measuring, double checking and stuff like that. That's what the hardest part is, or the most time consuming. Like I said, the easiest part is just the actual spinning on a lathe or the mill or actually the welder. So getting it set up is hard, not hard, time consuming to do it right. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. We're still going to work on the mandrel. Hopefully my buddy Frick and Jeep, John's going to possibly lend us a compound slide for a lathe that I can attach to the husk, which is the main part of the Frick Sawmill. That's where the saw is, the blade and all that stuff. And we can put it on there, and then we can machine the other half of this thing and go from there. And that way we'll get the fast color, which is fastened to the mandrel. We'll get that one straightened out, and we'll be happy campers. Take care. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you know how to do this better than I do, because